What if the most dangerous person you ever meet never raises their voice, never threatens you, never even touches you? They just talk to you, kindly, patiently, and somehow, months later, your entire life is gone. No bruises, no evidence, no crime scene. This isn't a thriller plot. This is a real psychological pattern, and it's terrifyingly documented in the real world. But the character who exposes it best, who basically becomes a walking case study in it, is a fictional villain named Johan Liebert from The Enemy Monster. And once you understand how he actually operates, you're gonna start noticing this pattern everywhere. In workplaces, in relationships, maybe even in something you brushed off as that one weird too nice person in your own life. Let's get into it. So here's the first thing that makes Johan different from basically every other villain you've seen. He never fights you. He never forces you. He doesn't even raise his voice. Instead, he finds the one thing you're already ashamed of, your guilt, your addiction, your secret, and he just gently confirms it, quietly, patiently, like a friend who finally gets you. There's a detective in the show named Richard Braun. Good cop, but he's carrying serious guilt over a shooting from his past and a drinking problem he's been hiding. Johan doesn't blackmail him, doesn't threaten him. He just sits with him, offers him whiskey, and quietly suggests that maybe he really is as worthless as he secretly believes. That's it. That's the entire weapon. And here's why that's so much more effective than violence. When someone attacks you directly, your brain knows exactly what to do. Fight, freeze, run. Evolution prepared you for that. But when the threat is wrapped in warmth and patience, in apparent kindness, your defense system never even activates. You don't see it as an attack, you see it as a connection. So the victim isn't broken from the outside. They end up destroying themselves from the inside, which raises an obvious question. How does someone get that good at finding exactly what will break a person? This is where it gets genuinely unsettling, because it's based in real psychology. Johan has something called cognitive empathy without emotional empathy, meaning he can read exactly what you're feeling with total precision. He just doesn't feel anything about it. Most of us, when we sense someone's in pain, we feel something too. That's what stops us from exploiting it. Johan reads the pain perfectly clear and feels nothing, which means there's no internal break, no guilt pulling him back. So he uses that emotional X-ray vision the way a surgeon uses a scalpel to find the exact fracture point in someone's psychology and press on it, gently, repeatedly, until it gives. And the unsettling part, this isn't just fiction. This maps almost exactly onto something psychologists call the dark triad: Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy. People high in these traits view other humans less like people and more like tools, levers to pull. But here's what really separates Johan from your typical movie villain. Most fictional manipulators want something: money, power, revenge. Johan wants none of that. So if he's not chasing power or money or revenge, then what is all of this actually for? This is the part that makes him genuinely disturbing, instead of just clever. Johan isn't manipulating people to gain anything. He's doing it because underneath all that calm, he is profoundly empty. As a kid, he and his twin sister were put through actual eugenics experiments, facilities designed to strip away identity completely. No name that mattered, no stable home, no sense of being a real person with a real history. In psychology, there's a concept called ontological security. Basically, your basic, gut-level sense that you exist, that you're real, that your life has continuity. Johan never got to build that. So instead of feeling like a person, he experiences himself as something closer to an object, a nameless thing. And here's the logic that makes him so dangerous. If he never got to feel real, then why should anyone else get to keep their sense of being real either? His silence isn't confidence, it's a void talking. And that void doesn't want power over the world. It wants to erase it, to delete memories, relationships, entire constructed lives, including eventually his own. Which is exactly why comparing him to someone like Hannibal Lecter completely misses the point. Hannibal enjoys existing. He's theatrical, intimate, almost artistic about his violence. He wants to be seen, remembered, feared. Johan wants the opposite. He wants to vanish so completely that there's no trace he ever existed at all. Hannibal is a performer, Johan is a deleter. So if this is just a tragic, broken, empty person, why does a huge chunk of the internet still try to turn him into some kind of Sigma power fantasy? Honestly, because people misread silence as strength. There's a whole corner of the internet, edits, clips, captions, that frame Johan as the ultimate calm, untouchable, in control figure, the guy nobody can read, the guy who needs no one. But if you actually watch his story, that read falls apart instantly. He's not in control. He's barely holding together. His calm isn't mastery. It's a thin shell wrapped around someone who is actively suicidal and has been his entire life. His power is just trauma wearing a very convincing disguise, which brings up the real reason this should matter to you, way beyond one anim character. Here's the part that should actually concern you. This exact pattern, quiet, patient, I'm just being honest with you manipulation, is documented constantly in the real world. Look at Theranos. Elizabeth Holmes built a calm, polished, endlessly convincing public image while, behind the scenes, her partner Sunny Balwani was isolating employees and threatening anyone who asked questions. Holmes herself later claimed she was the one being controlled, her diet, her clothing, her relationships, all managed by someone close to her. No physical violence required, just isolation and control over what she was allowed to believe. Or look at Jonestown. Jim Jones spent years building trust before he ever asked for anything, slowly cutting people off from outside family, demanding more and more control. By the time he asked over 900 people to drink poison, most of them weren't being forced at gunpoint. Their ability to say no had already been dismantled piece by piece over years. Different settings, different scale, same underlying mechanic. Isolate someone, remove their outside perspective, and they'll eventually do the damage to themselves. And the data backs up just how common the quieter version of this actually is. Research shows over half of workers report experiencing gaslighting at work in their lifetime. Nearly 6 in 10 say it's actively hurt their mental health. This isn't rare, it's disturbingly normal. So now the real question isn't this real? It clearly is. The real question is, how do you actually spot it before it gets you? Here's the pattern to watch for in real life, not fiction. It almost never starts with conflict, it starts with comfort. Someone who seems to just get you immediately, who validates exactly what you already feared was true about yourself. Then slowly, and this is the part people miss, your other relationships start feeling less important, less understanding, less safe somehow compared to this one person who just gets you. That's not chemistry, that's isolation wearing chemistry's clothes. And the biggest tell of all, if someone consistently uses silence, distance, or withdrawal as the punishment whenever you do something they don't like, that's not someone being mysterious or complicated. That's a control tactic, a well-documented one. And it works because human beings are biologically wired to panic at being shut out. We're not built to tolerate that kind of ambiguity calmly. Nobody is. So now you've got the full picture. How Johan operates as fiction, why his calm isn't strength but emptiness, and how that exact mechanism shows up in real manipulation, from corporate fraud to actual cults. But here's the problem you're left with now. Knowing what silent manipulation looks like is one thing. Actually knowing how to protect yourself, how to spot it early, before you're the one isolated and confused, is a completely different skill. So if you don't want to just recognize this after the fact, the video on your screen right now breaks down exactly how people build psychological resistance to this kind of manipulation, step by step. Click that next, because spotting the monster only matters if you also know how to not become its next target.